welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new here. Hi, I'm Nay, and welcome to Nay's Little Garden. So today I want to do two things. One, I'll show you some of the things I bought from Walmart today, as well as talk about my planting schedule for 2025. This is I'm experimenting. Okay, so there's some of what I'm gonna read to you here will be up until this point that I'll be planting. So whatever week I'm gonna tell you I'm gonna start certain things will be up until that point is when I'll start things. I do hear a lot about the whole it's better to plant late than to plant early, but I am attempting to go ahead and set myself up in a way that I can up pot an extra time to fit a bigger plant in my pot before I plant it outside, because I want to see for myself. This is why I'm doing them in separate weeks early versus just doing a bunch early, and if they all don't work out I'm gonna be mad. No, I'll still have other things, and there's a high chance I'll still toss some seeds into my garden as well, just depending. I don't have a sugar ton of square footage. I have about 170 square foot of planting, of actual planting, and then I ordered some grow bags, and so I might have like 180 ish. So it's not a ton, but it feels like so much. We're gonna have Skip jump right into it. If you are new here, grab yourself a drinky drink and a snacky snack, because we like to chat over here. Yes, I know, Miracle-Gro. It's the only perlite in Walmart, at least the one near me right now. I did get vermiculite. I did actually start my own soil. It's sitting there. I only did 16 soil blocks that I've been soil blocking because I am, once again, as I said, slowly starting things, and it's still early. Okay, we're making our way to the end of January, and most of the time you're supposed to start in February. So the Trifecta Plus from, that took me an embarrassing amount of time to find that, but the Trifecta Plus from my gardener, it's, I put very little because these are seedlings, but it's just a fertilizer into there. And then I also bought something else I'm gonna sprinkle in there as well. So I'm gonna add that perlite and this next thing, which, let's talk about that now. I went and got, so there was two different brands there. It's just the earthworm castings. One, because I want to add it to my soil. I'm just trying to make this soil that I've created as fertile as I can in my home without quite literally getting live insects and stuff to do it for me, or bird poop or bunny poop or anything right now. That's a lot for me. So I got a cocoa coir brick, vermiculite, and a little bit of that My Gardener fertilizer in there, and then I'm gonna add the perlite and this. This is the Earth Science earthworm casting book, but then it also, from something that I heard, you know, they talk about this compost tea thing, and it was talking about on here, for compost tea, which is a liquid plant food, add 1 pound of earthworm castings to 5 gallons of chlorine-free water. Soak overnight. Water plants with liquid. So what's gonna probably end up happening, I'm gonna do 1 gallon to like 1 cup. It's probably not the correct measurements. I'm gonna have to figure out. I do have a scale, so I'll probably weigh it and figure out, okay, do the math to figure out what 1 pound, 5 gallons, what that ratio is, and then cut that in like a 1/6 to water the seedlings I have now. So, and then the other two things I purchased was this. Now, Back to the Roots seems to be something that is big in Walmart. I didn't really see a ton of like recent, which for me recent is within the last 2 years, of gardeners, or in the top gardeners I should say, let's say the top 20 gardeners that keep popping up on my page for me to watch. No one really is talking about this except for like maybe one or two. And this is the Back to Roots USDA organic seeds. They're heirloom seeds. So I went ahead. They were like $2.95, which is on par with most places online. So this is bok choy white stem, and this is the eggplant Rosa Bianca. Now we're about to look real quick and see if I have this one. I couldn't remember if I did purchase a couple different eggplant seeds, but I wasn't sure if this is one I had bought, because it says plant 2 to 3 seeds per starter pot indoors 8 to 10 weeks before transplanting. Then to the 1 strongest plant per pot and transition outside for 7 days before outdoor transplant. I just thought the back of this was very detailed. It really tells you a lot of good information, and I can always appreciate if you're going to waste this much paper, maximize it to the most. It even has a number for you to text to ask questions. 80 to 85 days harvest, which to me is actually not that insane. I think this is going off of transplanting though. And I'm gonna do this indoors. I do have a couple of these bigger pots. They're like 2 quarts. And I wanna grow some of these indoor to start harvesting ASAPity. Now I say ASAPity, but it's like it's almost 2 months. It says 50 days to harvest. Yeah, so this is, I'm gonna assume it's gonna go off of just automatically putting this outdoors, because this just says to plant seeds outdoors. So I'm gonna grow this inside, and it says 50 days to harvest, so that's just 50 days from seed, I'm assuming. So like that. I would love to hopefully sometime in end of March maybe I'll be harvesting my bok choy. Anyway, so let's move on. So I just wanted to read out for those of you who have around the same frost date as last frost day, which is all over the place. Depending on the day, the time, the week that you look up your last frost date, I feel like it varies a couple days. But what I'm gonna go off of is May 9th. So May 10th I have on here as the day I could start planting things, because that's the day after last frost. So it looks like onions is kind of the only thing most people would agree. Start that as soon as possible. Some people started it at the end of December. I started in the beginning of, no, I think I actually started some on the 31st of December. But then I did some in the beginning of January. Then I did another part midway through January. And I'm going to keep going because I need 160. I sectioned out the space for 160 to go out. So, and I've already had to toss meaning it went back into my soil. We listen and we don't judge. And I mixed it up, and we're going to call that a day. Starting early is when things mess around, they gonna find out. Crush back into the soil to reuse. You know what I mean? And that's just kind of how I'm going about it now. So, outside of onions, and perhaps leeks, it seems 12 weeks, okay? Which is about 3 months. Before your last frost date is when you can start. They suggest you starting plants. I have started a few things. Anyway, so 12 weeks before my last frost date is February 15th. So up until the week of the February 15th, right, I will be starting celery, stevia, onions, and leeks. I have already started onions and leeks. I will continue to start onions and leeks. It's almost like every week I'm starting about 20 to 25 soil blocks of onions, or like pots of it, and planting, anywhere from 1 to 4 per grouping, right? I don't have my stevia plant yet, my stevia seeds yet, so I haven't even started that yet. So it's looking like the end of January to the beginning of February is when I'll actually even be able to start any stevia. And what's gonna probably happen is I'm gonna probably start on 2 1 week, and then 2 another week, and then 1 another week. The goal is to have 2 stevia plants. That's kind of what I made space for. 2 stevia plants, 2 or 3. I have space for like 2 or 3 stevia plants. And I'm just assuming some are not going to make it. I'm going to pick the strongest. Celery, I will be starting very soon because I feel like people are struggling. A lot of people discuss the struggle of starting celery. So 10 weeks before my last frost is March 1st. Now, March 1st sounds so long from now and so close to the last frost date as far as I am concerned. It's not, but it feels like that because I've started things already. This stresses me out because it's between 10 to 8 weeks is the majority of things I want to start out. And that's another reason why I started them even earlier, because there's no way I'm going to start within 2 weeks time frame. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 21 different kinds of plants. And that's not 21 plants seeds I'll be planting. I need multiples of these seeds. So 21 times like 5. First, I have here peas, spinach, kale, cabbage, kohlrabi, sage, thyme, lavender, mint, lemon balm, hot peppers, and eggplants. This is also the things I will actually be starting. There's a ton of more. There's a ton of more things out there. Okay, this is just what I will be starting. 8 weeks before my last frost is March 15th, which to me sounds like I am playing with my life. If anything does not start on time, I am now behind. Broccoli, beets, cauliflower, lettuce, tomatoes, sweet peppers, roselle, aster, which is the flower, and bells of Ireland. I know some of y'all just heard me say beets out loud and cringed, because I know it's a root crop and you should plant root crops out. I will also be doing that. When I built my lovely area, when I built my garden, okay, I left out planting out a bunch of grow bags. And so I am not majorly concerned about starting stuff that may not do okay being started, because I will just toss some seeds out the week up, because I will know whether or not it did good because I've started them. You know what I mean? So I'm not super concerned, but I will be attempting beets. I've done my beets via like the microgreens, and they're good. They're tasty. I love them. But I'm gonna grow some to actually grow into full beets because people have done it and it comes out okay. So we're gonna see if I can manage. 6 weeks before my last frost is March 29th. I have their basil, zinnias, and seed potatoes that go outside. The zinnias are soil block only, is what I wrote. So maybe their roots are super sensitive. I'm growing, I think I'm only growing 1 or 2 different types of zinnias. I'm not going too heavy with the flowers. I know people really talk about how great flowers are, and I love that for them and for myself. I might mess around and toss some flowers, some seeds on my grass around my fence or something to try to attract pollinators. But as of right now, I just want to plant as much as I can. And I will be just tossing marigold seeds. I tossed some marigold seeds out super late in the season and I got them. And though the raised bed it was in and the 2 raised beds near it had almost 0 pest pressure, I'm unsure if that was just due to luck, due to having low pest pressure in my area, or due to the marigolds. But I did get some pest pressure from stuff not in that near that area, so I feel like I'ma just toss marigolds like it rains. You know what I mean? I'm gonna be like, it's raining seeds, hallelujah, marigolds, please. You know what I mean? Yeah. 2 to 4 weeks, which just is 4 weeks, is April 12th. cucumbers, beans, cantaloupe, butternut squash, pumpkin, watermelon, and also I will be adding to this now because I've ordered the seeds, the honey nut squash. Now, for those of you who have been following along are probably chuckling under their breath because, nay, where on earth are you going to put honey nut squash? Because those need to be on the trellis that you've already filled with more things than I think you should have already. We're going to figure it out. I watched a man, I cannot remember his name, get himself 3 8-foot 2x4s, chop them up. No, 3 or 4 8-foot 2x4s, chop them into 2 6-foot, and 1 8-foot. Take the little piece them and chop them in half. Put the legs around the bottom, so now you have a little tree leg on each side, and put that ish into his raised bed. Or maybe he got stakes and put the stakes in the ground and attached it. My point is, he did that. Then he got himself the twine that ish up, pulled the twine down, wrapped the twine around the plant, and twisted the plant up the twine, and the tomatoes grew wonderfully. I feel as if I could do that, 1, for my tomatoes, but 2, also go the twine this way and have everything lining up it. Twine is actually not that expensive at all, and neither is, okay, wood is not super cheap, but in comparison to buying a trellis, it's cheap. Yes. Because I want to grow all of these bigger plants, the cucumbers. I have some cucumbers coming. I actually fell in love with cucumbers 2024. I never had an issue with cucumbers. I would eat them, but when I tell you I ate cucumbers last year I was all up in my my farmer's market buying up cucumbers, chopping them up and making cucumber salad, and I am obsessed. And I will be growing my own cucumbers. I also would like to train myself to like pickles. So if I make them myself, I can season them myself and hopefully make it in a manner that I can eat. That's all I want to talk about today. Let me know your planting schedule. Are you sticking by a planting schedule? Are you going by the seat of your pants? Because to be fair, I feel you. It's a lot. But I'm just going to go by this, and I'm not going to really go heavier into it because I know some people have like, you know what I mean? I am type A, but more like type 2A. You know what I mean? So I am a stickler, but the stick has a little crook in it, you know? I don't know. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this whole video. Hopefully you liked it. Don't forget to hit that like button, guys. We're growing. Thank you for the community coming through. And really thank you for the comments, joining in conversation, because that's one of the biggest reasons I created this channel. We gonna go through this struggle together. We gonna go through this together. Oh, do you guys know what bells of Ireland are? They're super pretty, and the asters I'm gonna grow, and everything's shipped. So hopefully it gets to me before this storm that's coming gets here, but if not, it will eventually get to me, and I'm ready. Hopefully I'll see you in my next video. Bye-bye.
His little garden, plentiful and hardy. Let's watch the garden grow. Let's watch the garden grow.